Hello, I want to give you a quick demo today of collections and migrations in Enterprise Vault. This is the fifth video in a 5-part series of videos covering some of the different aspects of Enterprise Vault storage. Collections are sometimes implemented with storage devices, and they can be configured when the system is first configured, or they can be configured after some time has passed, perhaps as part of a periodic review of the environment. The idea with collections is to remove some of the smaller number of files and replace them with a smaller number of large files. This change in its own right will speed up backups, for example. In order to configure collections and migrations in the Vault admin console, you should go down through the Vault Store group to the Vault Store that you're interested in, and then finally go to the properties of the partition. And here we see the Collections tab. Firstly, you have to indicate when you want the collection process to run. The default here is 10 AM to 4 PM. It's recommended to make sure that this is outside of your normal archiving window, for example during the day as we see here. You also have to indicate how big you want the collection files to be. The larger the size of the file, the longer it will take to retrieve any item because the whole CAB file which is produced has to be processed. CAB files can also be larger than what you indicate on this tab. For example, if you specify a CAB file of 30 meg, but you then add a 5 meg file followed by 10 meg, followed by 10 meg, followed by 10 meg, you end up with a 35 meg CAB file. So in this case, the collection only stops when the file size has been exceeded. There's also obviously some overhead in having to decompress a CAB file to get a file out of it when requested by an end user or an application. So whilst you've saved a little bit of space and made backups run quicker, you've had a trade-off in that retrievals will be slightly slower and there will be more CPU cycles used. So the idea, as indicated in this final setting here, is that you only collect files beyond a certain age. Many organizations set this to 6 months or longer. There is much less likelihood of a user wanting to use the data which is that old. Once that's all configured, you can then verify your settings by reviewing the Collections tab in the VAC. The tab also allows you to perform a Run Now operation if you don't want to wait for the next scheduled time. Note also that scheduling here is a little bit simpler in that you can't have different parts of the day and exclude certain days. It's just a particular window of time, 7 days a week. Once collections have been configured for your organization, you may then want to consider migrations. With migrations, data will leave the Enterprise Vault server and go to another type of storage. There are several different certified devices. Only do this though on really old data, because retrievals can be significantly slower. Here we can see a few simple choices on the Migration tab of the Vault Store partition. Soon as we select the box saying that we want to migrate files, you'll see this warning from Enterprise Vault. The choices on this dialog help you to migrate data off the Enterprise Vault server to a different type of device. This can be a network location, for example, if you use Enterprise Vault as the migrator, but there are also some other choices in here. The Enterprise Vault Compatibility Guide will also list the specific versions of these different migrators. As indicated on this tab of the Vault Store partition, you should only consider this migration step for very old data. A year or more at least is recommended. There is also a good feature here where you can opt to keep CAB files on primary media for a little while. In this example, it's 1 week. This means that subsequent retrievals of the same file or other files in that same collection will be much quicker than having to go and get another file from some distant storage device. If you choose Enterprise Vault as the migrator, you then get to specify a secondary storage location, such as a network-attached device. Other migrators in this list may need some additional configuration. In summary then, collections can speed up backups because they reduce the vast number of small files that Enterprise Vault produces. And migrations can reduce the space consumed by very old archived data, and you can then make use of Tier 3 storage. I hope that showing you collections and migrations in Enterprise Vault is useful to you. Thank you. Goodbye.